All right, we're ready to go. Well, welcome to Wednesday, and welcome to your personal realtor on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I am your humble host, RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna, and today I have a very special guest on the other side of the big board. That's right, all smiles, Mr. Smiles himself, Mr. Pat Septek. How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing great. Eric, how are you?
Good. I'm doing great. Great to have you today. For those who do indeed listen to us on a regular basis, I again humbly thank you. And you know that our normal producer is Sir Frank Sparks, Mr. Beaver County Radio. I like to say that, Pat, because I can blow his head up a little bit, you know. But right now, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that Frank is out at the Senior Olympics today.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
He is. Okay.
He is.
Okay. I've got some kind of background of audio feed there.
Okay.
Oh, that's out the hallway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can
Pipe down out there.
Yeah.
That's our hallway for you, friends. A lot happening here today in the Latina Drapery and Blinds factory studio here in the beautiful city of Beaver Falls, and we are at WBVP and WMBA. And again, great to be with you. Woo! What a week! What a week! Is Frank gonna check in with us? Do you know? Is the Olympics over?
That I do not know. I believe he is there until 3, but I don't know if he'll be calling in.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a live broadcast or whatever the arrangement was there. But again, great to have you, Pat. Great to have you. Maybe we'll have a little more civility on this show this week, possibly, because, you know, the live wire, Sir Frank Sparks, is not here. So,
Right.
Indeed, we'll have just a tad more civility.
Just a tad.
Frank, if you're listening, you know, you need to indulge this. Pat's going to show you some civility today. Friends, this show is indeed about real estate, but it's also about having a lot of fun. You know, I love being a realtor, and I guess I could talk real estate all day, but I would not want to subject anyone to the ins and outs of real estate for 2 full hours. So we blend in some humor, and we blend in some baseball talk or sports talk for that matter as well. We have a lot of fun, and the essence of the show was to demystify real estate the best we can, and that's been our goal. The ways to participate in the show are the 2 most famous numbers in Beaver County, and I have these committed to memory because there's no cheat sheet over here, I might add. 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Yeah, I got a smile from Pat
right.
Septek. I must be doing the right thing.
Got the thumbs up.
Yeah, there you go. So I just had a little cheat sheet here, friends, that I could, you know, because I'm getting old and I kind of forget things. So ultimately, you can participate by calling in directly here. Pat will be glad to take your calls. Any question on real estate, regardless of the topic we're discussing at hand, if something comes to mind or you have any questions, or if you want to complain about the Pirates, hey, you know, I'm complaining too, and probably Pat and Frank are as well. So
Absolutely.
We welcome your phone calls here. You can also participate because we are live on Facebook in 2 places. That's right. On my personal page, if you just go to Facebook and you just go to the search bar and type in Eric McKenna, I'll come up twice. One is just my personal page. You're welcome to go there. And I also have my business page. It'll say Eric McKenna, your personal realtor, at calleric.com. You can click there as well. We have 2 Facebook Live video streams today, and they're already starting to populate. And for that, I thank you very much. Facebook Live has been a tremendous addition to what we do here at this show. It has broadened our audience, and even it has brought people into the discussion even beyond the wide area coverage of Beaver County Radio, and for that I am forever humble. And I think, Pat, if I'm not mistaken, there's more and more Facebook Live streams that are happening here at Beaver County Radio now.
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Yeah, and Frank's been trying to... Frank Sparks is our Mr. Beaver County Radio, Sir Frank Sparks, I might add, because if I don't give that moniker, I'll hear about it, of course. But he is the host of Teleforum, also the program director here. Thus, I give him the marketing title of Mr. Beaver County Radio. So, Frank has been incorporating more Facebook Live and so forth. And as a matter of fact, I haven't even got through my moniker yet. We got a phone call. Let's bring it right on. This is Eric McKenna. How are you?
Hello. I'm not sure I'm calling the right number.
Okay.
Listening to WBVP most of the day,
Sure.
I hear that there's a new restaurant, and I didn't get where it's located in New Brighton. I think it's called Ree's or something like that.
That's correct.
Do you have any?
Yeah, I did a news story on it. Ree's Restaurant and Pub. Yeah, they're having a grand opening today in New Brighton, and they got free food and all kind of stuff going. They're giving away free prizes from 3 until, I don't know, 6 or 7 tonight. So
why aren't we down there?
we should. I'm going to ask Frank that.
Where is this located?
I know it's in New Brighton. I don't know. I don't have the exact address in front of me, but I know it's in New Brighton. And maybe during a commercial break, I can look it up for you.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I'll in the show.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sure. No problem, sir. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
We aim to be of help on this show.
We do.
Like I said, we welcome all calls. If you want to give us movie reviews on this show, we're up for it.
And the thing is, we don't have a screener here, so
no, and I love that, and it's funny because I'll tell you when I talked about doing the show last year. By the way, we're on show number 45. If you can believe that already.
Wow.
Yeah, 45. When I spoke with Grand Poobah, Mr. Mark Peterson, Station Grand Poobah, and Sir Frank, and we put the ideas for the show together. One of the things that was offered to me was, do we want to figure out a screening process? And initially, all I ever knew from talk radio shows was there was a screening process. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't use that on a station.
Right.
So Frank said we should just wing it and just not have it and just go with it. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I love it.
Yeah.
I would prefer that way better than a screening process. Let's just bring it on. I mean,
absolutely agree.
Yeah, and I think it's what local hometown radio is. And as I've learned over the past 45 shows, I love it. I mean, it's so endearing to me. I love this show. I love what it does. I love the people of Beaver County. They've been so kind to me. A little background, friends, if you're listening for the first time or you haven't heard any of my background, I'm a realtor I grew up in the Coriopolis area. I resided in the airport area most of my life. And my brokerage is in Swickley and also an office in Robinson Township. I do work all over Allegheny, Butler, Washington, believe it or not, all the way down in Washington, and Beaver County. I work the entire area of Beaver County. This show has enabled me to meet so many new people, develop so many friendships over the past almost, I guess, 10 months now, believe it or not. I think 11 months. We're closing in on a year pretty soon.
Yeah.
But so we're closing in on a year, Pat. Remind me later in the show to publicly ask Frank, because I know he's listening, what are you going to do for me, Frank, on the 1-year anniversary of this show? Because Frank's big on celebrations.
Yes,
I hear,
he
right?
is.
Okay, so we'll get back to that.
Yeah, okay.
But I've met so many wonderful people in Beaver County. I've had the opportunity to talk real estate and become a part of their lives as well. Many have hired me. Many are planning to possibly hire me in the future. And many just wanted to talk real estate. And you know what? I love every second. So for all of you that have welcomed me into your home, in addition to our family here who have listened to our show in the past 45 weeks, thank you. You have my humblest gratitude. I never thought we'd go from an hour to 90 minutes, 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then moving into prime time here on Wednesdays from 2 to 4 on Beaver County Radio. It's been this can't happen without our listening audience, and without a doubt, my humblest thanks. Whew. I got to give Frank a little bit of credit. I mean, Frank has been great. I was going to run this show initially doing my own production. I know you can't believe that because I hate the other side of this wall here. What Pat and Frank do at running the controls and the producing and all that, I did have an illusion that I was going to do that. Then I got here and realized that I had everything I could handle in just doing the show. So graciously, I still have a producer. And I think I'm one of the few shows on the station that actually has its own producer, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I guess I'm spoiled.
Yeah. But that's okay,
sad.
because you're a great addition to the lineup, and
I
Frank and I
appreciate
don't
that.
mind at all.
Well, thank you. And it's good. It's good. For me, being a realtor is, I came at it, quite frankly, in the middle of my life. I've been doing it for closing in on 5 years now. And it's well been documented. I was in the guitar business for a long time prior. So when I became a realtor, it was kind of a natural thing. I love people. I love engaging in conversation. And I just love commerce. And so it was a natural fit for me. The issue was going to be, starting with a lot of these young bucks in their 20s and their early 30s. And, is this really going to be a midlife crisis, or am I going to be able to do this? And luckily for me, my fellow agents, my younger fellow agents, my aggressive ones and the ones that really hustle have motivated me. And they've actually kept me young. So this has been a great addition to my life. I couldn't be happier. I love what I do, and I think it's reflected in the work that I do. They say if you find the vocation that you love, that's about the closest thing you ever have to bliss. And I believe that. Now, of course, husbands and wives will argue that if you don't find the right partner, that could be the closest thing to bliss too. But if you can marry what you love and your livelihood, it's always a great thing. And as a realtor, I've had the opportunity to do that. So very, very happy. Again, happy to be here. And we spent the last couple of weeks, friends, talking about the responsibilities of a realtor to their clients. And we've looked at it from both the selling standpoint and we've looked at it from the buying standpoint. And we've also talked about the roles of a realtor as a seller agent and as a buyer agent and as a dual agent. And we spent a great amount of time talking about the pros and cons of all of those. And we've talked in great deal as well and have got a lot of feedback from our listeners in regards to the dual agency issue. Now, we've kind of beaten that one down and we're not going to spend a lot of time on it today, but I do get a lot of emails because of that show, actually a show and a half that we did on dual agency. And to refresh again, dual agency is the ability for a real estate agent in Pennsylvania to work with both the buyer and the seller on the same transaction. Now, I know that sounds a little odd, and to me it is a little odd, but how that happens generally is a real estate agent is listing a home and they might be holding an open house, and someone comes to the open house and the real estate agent talks to them, and that couple or that person doesn't have an agent, but they like the house over a day or two or three and they decide to put an offer in. And they ask the listing agent if they can put an offer in through them. So the listing agent now is representing both the buyer and the seller. It's legal. It can be done ethically. It's certainly done legally. I have a lot of friends and a lot of associates and people that, a lot of realtors that I do business with who do it, and it seems to work out fine for them. God love them. It's not part of my particular realtor practice. I don't believe in it. I know I can only give my very best to one side of a transaction. I can't imagine trying to represent both and doing it equally. And more importantly, what I care about most is the impression that the client has of my services. And what I mean by that, in a nutshell, is that when the transaction is all done and everything seems to be good and both sides are happy, I don't want either the buyer or the seller a day, a week, a month, 5 years from them to ever doubt if they didn't get my best, that they didn't get my very best, somehow that Eric's favored one side or the other. I never want to be in that position. I wouldn't want to put my client in that position to ever have those kinds of doubts. To me, the extra commission that an agent would make, it just isn't worth it. To me, I'd rather have each party have their own agent. It works better, and we've kind of beaten this down over the past couple of weeks. I don't do dual agency. And my advice to anyone getting ready to buy a home is get your own realtor. Get that fiduciary relationship and have someone represent you. And I don't like the word. Go in there and kind of fight in negotiations. Fight's a terrible word, but go in there and represent you to the fullest and represent your interest as a buyer. And to those getting ready to list their house, you may want to ask your realtor or your real estate agent if indeed they do dual agency. And my advice to you, Mr. Home Seller, before you hire a realtor, give it a lot of thought. Because indeed, do you want your realtor to also be able to, because you have to give them permission, by the way, are you okay with them also representing the buyer? And my advice to you would be no. You want that agent to have one focus, and that's your goals as a home seller. That's it. Let them work for you exclusively. It's just a better way to do business. And we're not going to belabor the point beyond that, but we did spend a considerable amount of time talking about dual agency and just my thoughts in general on it. The emails we received in the past couple of weeks have been pretty ferocious. And, we encourage a lot of positivity on this show. This is not a show where, while you're welcome to call in and talk about a negative experience you had, we do like to accentuate the positive here. I will tell you, it was a little disheartening to read a lot of the emails that I had for those who were involved in dual agency. Some were okay. They were fine with it, but a lot of people, they said they were fine with the process in general, but in the end, they had those doubts, and they look back on it, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. So again, my overall advice is based upon my personal experience as a realtor, my feedback that I've gotten over the last couple of weeks from the emails and a couple of phone calls about dual agency. I just advise you to do the smart thing. And the smart thing is just have your own representation. I mean, if you were getting divorced, which, divorce is a terrible thing, but let's just take that terrible example for a second. If you were getting divorced, in all honesty, and it was contentious, let's say your ex-partner or soon-to-be ex-partner is unfortunately taking a rather stern and unfriendly stance, would you possibly hire their attorney? Would you want their attorney to also represent you in a divorce when you are thinking about potentially money and, more importantly, potentially the well-being of your children? Of course you wouldn't. And while I would never profess to say that being a realtor is on the same stance as a divorce attorney in terms of life events, buying a house is a big thing. It's a big thing. And you want someone looking out for you only. So again, get your own agent. Definitely worth it. Again, the numbers to participate in this show are 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. You can connect with us on Facebook Live. It's starting to populate now. How are you? Thanks for tuning in, both on our personal and our business page. You can reach me on Facebook at Eric McKenna, or you can just type in there, Eric McKenna, your personal realtor. I have both pages up and both live feeds are running, and they look pretty solid today. So the Grand Poobah has full Wi-Fi capacity for me today there, Pat. I'm pretty happy.
That's great.
Wi-Fi is working great here.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Yeah, we're going to head off to our first break here, but you are listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna on Beaver County Radio. That's right, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA, and we'll be right back. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Just another.
Frank locked up his office.
They're really making.
You're listening to Your Personal Realtor, hosted by Eric McKenna with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. Content and sponsorship is provided by Eric McKenna, and the show is brought to you by CallEric.com.
Hello, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors and CallEric.com.
An other-centered sort of home. But the narcissism of the millennials and their children sort of being enhanced and concentrated from one generation to the next.
Technical difficulties.
Yes.
Oh, it is playing. Good, we're on, man. We're on. Can you turn it down just a little bit for me? That speaker. Yeah. All right.
Ready to go?
Yes, sir. And we're back. Thank you for holding through the break. You're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. And we're here every Wednesday from 2 to 4 on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I am here standing, I might add, because it's my new thing. You know, I stand through my broadcast now. I challenged Frank to do that, Pat. He won't do it. He won't do it. He says he's on the radio too much, he can't stand. I feel more engaged when I stand, you know. And if those of you watching live on Facebook see me hopping around, that's just me. And we do record all these shows for our website, and that's CallEric.com. Again, it's CallEric.com. That is also the sponsor of this here show. It is where you can learn more about my realtor practice and how I can be your personal realtor. You can reach me anytime there at calleric.com. My email, very easy. It's sold@calleric.com. And you can reach me directly, call or text anytime at 412-7, excuse me, I mess that up every week. That's where I need a cheat sheet, buddy. My own phone number, 412-613-4466. Again, it's 412-613-4466. Call or text me, get back with you promptly, answer any questions you have, or if you need to talk about buying or selling any property in southwestern Pennsylvania, I'm your guy. Love to talk with you. And again, even if you just need advice, by all means, give me a ring. Great to talk with you. And special thanks to everybody here at the official, this is our official Moon, how do I say this? Our official Facebook group of the, it's just too much, Matt. Our official Facebook group for Your Personal Realtor is our great friends on Facebook in the group called Moon Connects. They've kind of adopted me in this show, and special thanks to the two moderators and originators of that Moon Connects Facebook group, Stephen Dish and Caroline Tronzo. Thank you so much for all support and love and kindness. They not only support what I do, but they support the entire Moon and Moon area community. They do it the right way. You know, the internet gets a bad rap. Some things are bad on the internet, some things are rough, some things are wonderful and good. That's a good place. That's a good place to be. Moon Connects. If you're an airport area or Moon Township area resident and you want to get connected to events in regards to the township, and they're wonderful and lost animals, and we thank everything that they do. They run a Facebook group the correct way, and God love them. I support them wholeheartedly. We have a couple sponsors to this here show beyond calleric.com. First, wanted to let you know about Frags Tags. That's right, our sponsor, Frags Tags, located in downtown Coraopolis. Contact these good folks at Frags Tags for all your title, transfer, and notary needs. You can reach them at 412-264-3018. 412-264-3018. Tell Jonathan and Michelle that I sent you. They will appreciate that. The show is also sponsored by lifestyle, family, and portrait photographer Don Morris. From infants to toddlers, preteens to graduations, and beyond, let Don capture those special moments in your family's life. View Don's creative work at gypsysoulsphotography.com. Again, that's gypsysoulsphotography.com, or call Don today for your session. It's 412-337-8348. Again, that's 412-337-8348. Her work is fabulous. I'm telling you personally, her work is fabulous. The show is also sponsored by Miss Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage. Contact Leslie for all your mortgage concerns and your mortgage needs. 412-719-5673. 412-719-5673. NMLS 138287. PA license 29666. That's Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage. And of course, this show is sponsored by my good friend and what I consider to be one of the finest home inspectors in all the Valley, Mr. Matt Pia with Division 9 Home Inspections. That's Division, the number 9, inspection.com. Again, that's Division, the number 9, inspection.com. Again, one of the finest home inspectors in the Valley and a regular guest here on Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. Although he's not been on in a couple weeks. We got to do something about that. Matt's been a tremendous guest here on the show, and we've had some great conversations about home inspections and the type of work he does, why home inspections are needed, what home inspectors do, what they don't do. And you can reach Matt for any of your home inspection needs, or if you're even thinking about listing your house, Matt does a pre-listing evaluation. A little less expensive than an actual home inspection, but very good for new listers or potential home sellers, so they get a good feel of the actual condition of their house before they ever sell. And again, that is Division, the number 9, inspection.com, or you can call Matt at 412-715-8123. That's Matt Pia, Division 9 Home Inspections. Last 2 weeks, we've taken on 2 new sponsors. I'm very proud of that. I'd like to definitely welcome again to the Your Personal Realtor Show, Mr. Dave Bishop with Big Bang Comics and Collectibles. They're located in Swickley. Visit Dave and his fantastic shop on Broad Street, actually. I like to say it's a cornucopia of fun. He finds that corny, but I said, Dave, you're finding that corny and you run a comic book store. I mean, you need to get your inner nerd out. That's the place to go. Dave Bishop with Big Bang Comics and Collectibles. You can reach Dave at 412-259 8742. Again, that's 412-259-8742. Tell Dave you heard about Big Bang Comics and Collectibles here on Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. And last but certainly not least, our new sponsor, Mr. Chris Moser. That's right, with Chris Moser Electric. For all your home and business electrical needs, this is your guy. 412-292-7455. That's again 412-292-7455. He's a wonderful electrician. I've used Chris personally in my own home. I've also referred him to many buyers, and he has done tremendous work for my clients. I give him the highest recommendation. That's Mr. Chris Moser with Chris Moser Electric, 412-292-7455, 412-292-7455. I want to thank all of our sponsors for the undying love of the show and being so kind and really liking what we're doing here. It was kind of rewarding. Some of these sponsors are personal friends of mine that have really kind of digged what we've done over the past, I guess 10 months now. And a couple of them are new to me. They just love the show and love what we're doing, and they like the ability to reach out to our clients as well. And I'm glad our sponsors are an eclectic group of people. We have photographers, we have a comic book store, we have an electrician, we have a home inspector. We got it all going on here. We even have a title and transfer company. So again, if you'd like to sponsor or be part of the sponsorship here at Your Personal Realtor, and get your message out, we love to do that for you. It's very inexpensive, and we love to work with people in all demographics in business. Give me a call, 412-613-4466, 412-613-4466. Ooh, I guess that's called doing the business of radio there, right?
Yeah. By the way, Eric, in answer to that gentleman who just called, he was asking about Ree's Family Restaurant. He wanted to know the address.
Sure.
I have it here for him, 631 5th Avenue in New Brighton.
Okay, so help me out, because I'm always looking for new establishments to indulge.
Okay, yeah. Well, they're, I don't know they've been there for quite a while. They've always been Ree's Family Restaurant, but they've added on a pub.
That's cool.
To the establishment.
That's
cool. So today, they're having a big grand opening over there, or grand opening, if you would. But they're having free food.
Free food.
Yeah, they're having.
Free food.
That's all I need to know right there. Free food. They're having chicken, rigatoni, and all kind of stuff. So, anyhow, they're going to be there. I know it's from 3 until sometime tonight.
That's awesome.
6 or 7. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I think that's worth a stop.
Yeah.
And again, just give them one more plug.
Yeah, Ree's Family Restaurant and now pub at 631 5th Avenue in New Brighton.
How about that?
Yeah.
I was driving here today, and I went a non-typical way for me. I usually go the long way, which would be 376. Okay. I'm usually in the Moon Township area, and I just hop on the the expressway and go.
Sure.
It's a little longer. Yeah. Well, today I had a meeting in my brokerage in Swickley, and that's rare because I'm never there. But I was there doing a very productive meeting this morning, and I figured, okay, I'm just going to go down 65 and just, it's just not going to drive all the way to the expressway. That was a mistake. 65, unbeknownst to me.
Let me guess. Construction.
Okay.
Construction.
To the point where to back up a little bit, when I became a realtor, I had a manager one time, good guy. He said to me, there's 2 things that are going to change about you, Eric. I tend to think that you're pretty on top of it, guy. You're kind of with it. I said, I am. I ran my own business and all this stuff. He said,
Sure.
Well, I guess you're pretty much on time all the time. And I said, generally, yes. I like to be prompt. He goes, yeah, and you're pretty trim. At the time I met him, I was about at 170. I was in pretty good shape. I said, well, yes, I take good care of myself. What are you getting at? He said, well, 2 things in your life are going to change as a realtor. And I said, okay, what are you talking about? He goes, number 1, you're going to gain weight. I go, why is that? He goes, because realtors eat. That's what they do. Number 2, you're going to be late. And I go, what are you talking about? He's like, realtors are always late. There's regular time and there's realtor time. And I'm like, none of this will happen to me. Well, after the first year, I put on 25 pounds. And I noticed that I'm running from A to B, constantly calling and apologizing because I'm 5, 10, or 15 minutes behind. So, Yes, indeed. Yes, it's unfortunate. I went in there with the best intentions to keep those two under control, but the eating and the tardiness became a part of my life, and it has continued ever since. So
It's caught up with you.
it has. Well, and the big joke was, and my broker says this all the time, we're all independent contractors. We don't work for a broker. Okay, we're not like an employee. So, we have responsibilities, and I take my brokerage responsibilities very seriously. Not that I'm, under the gun or that I'm being managed. I'm pretty unmanageable, generally. But he would laugh, saying, "Look, it's hard for me to get you agents ever to come to a meeting. I mean, you say we're going to come, and and he only asks once a month. Mark Hanlovich, if you're listening, there you go. But it's interesting. It's interesting. If he has a vendor come in and talk, there's always food on the table. Or if Mark brings food on the table and it's announced, then it's amazing who shows up. Yeah. Agents that only wrote one piece of business in the past 3 years somehow find a way to the office. If there's food, realtors are going to find it. So, that's good.
I'm going to clue you in on something. It's not just realtors. Okay? It's radio personalities.
Oh, great. So I guess I'm having some issues then.
And newsmen, yes. Especially working here, because as you mentioned, we do frequently have food here at the station.
Yes.
And
it's never when I'm here, though. I know. Yeah, it's never when I'm here.
We've been working to change that.
I know. Well, and Frank has these events, and I love Frank like a brother. Frank has been such an addition to your personal realtor. He has been. And he talks about, laughingly so, that I'm never here when there's food. And so Frank, to his credit, has had some really cool morning shows. Since he's become the program director, he's really integrated some community things in with Teleforum. And some really cool stuff. And then he lets me know about them
after the fact,
either after or the same morning. Oh, by the way, Eric, we're having this crazy hot dog place that comes in, has the greatest hot dogs in the world. We're bringing them in, and I'm like, great. I need at least a 2-day, 3-day notice. I'm never in on the food deal.
Yeah.
Why is that? Never in on the food deal. I think Peterson's running a conspiracy against me. I said, Mark, you're so good to me, but okay, so there's no green room here. We laugh about that, right? But so there is a refrigerator. I go in there and I kind of rushed in here. The point I was trying to make earlier was that I was late getting in here today, as usual. Mm-hmm. I rushed in to get something to drink, and I found one old bottle of water in the very back of this refrigerator. I have it, thank goodness. I have a bottle of water, but there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
It's bare. Frank's office is locked. I can't get in there. That's another refrigerator.
Now, whenever we do have food, does Frank ever save you some when you come in?
No.
Well,
now I will tell you this. When I had my show on a Saturday, it was great. It was really, Saturday mornings were cool, I have to say. I do prefer Wednesdays. I think it's going to be, for the long-term benefit of what we do, Wednesday's a better fit. But Saturday mornings were nice because there was always usually something going on, and it was busy. Greg Benedetti, and a variety of guest hosts on the Saturday Sports Slam, of course. Mm-hmm. I had Orem's cinnamon rolls for the first time in my life here. The second show I had. And friends, that's the last time I was ever fed by the station. 43 shows ago.
Wow.
No, but the Orem's were fantastic. And of course, everybody was looking at me like I was a space alien because you don't know about Orem's? I'm like, no, I don't. So that it was kind of like this. How could you not know?
Yeah.
So
I went through the same thing when I started here.
Okay, yeah. Well, it was heavenly. I will tell you that it was absolutely, positively heavenly. Oh my goodness gracious!
Diane brought you in a can. Of Pepsi?
They brought me a can of Pepsi. Do you see this, friends? You know what I'm more impressed about? I thought everybody just tuned me out when I got here that actually works in the building, but you actually listened to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, someone heard something, and now, there you go. See, little advertising for Pepsi. I'm a Coke guy. Anyway, I appreciate the offer very much so. And there you go. It's going to be consumed. Yeah. Whew, okay, like I said, friends, we talk about everything on this show. I want to say hello to my good friend David Wade. He's checking in on Facebook. My wife Natalie has checked in. I love you. Thank you so much for checking in. And I want to send a special hello. I know this is kind of hokey, but I want to send a special hello to my mom.
Aww.
Yeah, Cheryl McKenna, I know you're listening. And your son's trying to do you proud. I'll probably embarrass you 10 times today, but I'm trying to do you proud. But That's right. I also want to send a hello to Mr. Barry Struble and his wonderful wife, Evelyn. They are Hopewell residents and very proud Beaver County residents. They have taken me on as their realtor. They found out about me because of this show, and I'm forever humbled. I spent a good amount of time with them the last couple of nights, and last night it was wonderful. Thank you for making me, or enabling me, to be your personal realtor and giving me the opportunity to serve and for your home sale and other real estate matters. Thank you so much. And again, that would not happen without this show and without your kindness. Oh, I tell you what, these audio, I bring in my own headphones, they don't work. I'm trying to get friends, I'm trying to get some audio so I can hear. There we go, I'm back. There we go, local radio issues, there we go. That's what you have a small time radio. I'm gonna ask Mr. Pat Septak to go to a break here so I can wet my palate and reorganize for the last half of the first hour of Your Personal Realtor. Friends, this is Eric McKenna with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. You are listening to 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. Those two stations comprise Beaver County Radio, and I'm standing in the China Drapery and Blinds factory studio, and I assure you, we will be right back. Woo!
Deeper in credit card debt, and you're not sure how to fix the problem?
Holy Redeemer Church is hosting their 51st annual bazaar, starting August 2nd through August 5th from 6 to 10 p.m. You can expect a great time under their
actually listening to me down there. I can't believe it. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Dinner on ground starts at 5:30. Thursday
funny.
dinner is pierogies and polka music. Friday is ribs.
Oh, they know. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
At 4 p.m. while the grounds open at 6. Plus, don't forget their summer cash giveaway of $46,000 in total cash prizes. Yes, you heard me correct. There will be a winner every night based on the pick 3 lottery drawing. The grand prize of $25,000 will be awarded on Saturday night. The bazaar will be located at Holy Redeemer Catholic Center grounds, located on 300 Crescent Avenue, Elwood City. Need more details? Call 724-758-4411.
Did they say how the show ends? Did they explain that to
Idlewild
you?
is a place full of adventure.
So, like,
there are
around-
rides that are just your
I don't know
size,
how he does it,
treats
like,
to
around,
tickle your taste buds, and special friends like Daniel Tiger to touch your heart. When you're a grown-up, Idlewild is every bit as magical, every bit as memorable, every bit as fun. Idlewild and SoZo. Because
I got that set up over
to see
here.
them smile.
That'll work. But
Save up to
I don't know.
$19 on
Frank and
select
I
days
just
when
go.
you buy
I need a
online
break,
at
I go like this. If he
idlewild.com.
tells me I need to put a break in,
Anyway,
we don't even really plan it out, so.
And I take the 3-step.
Wow, that's cool. Are we back? Oh, there we go. We're getting there. And we are back. My friends, you are listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. I am your humble host, and I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors out of Swickley and Robinson Township. I work in Allegheny, Butler, Washington, and of course, the wonderful county of Beaver, which hosts Your Personal Realtor with Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I am in the China Drapery and Blinds factory studio, and this week I had the pleasure of having a special guest in my studio for this show, and that is our producer, Mr. Pat Septak.
Hey.
Good to have you, my friend.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Frank is off on special assignment. I'd like to think it was something covert or something really like ultra cool, but it is ultra cool. And he is at the Senior Olympics. Is that correct?
Yes.
And where is that being held at?
That, I don't know.
Preparation, Pat.
I should know that.
Well, that's okay. And I only know that because I saw it on Facebook earlier in the day. He was doing, I think, a live broadcast there. And I'm like, Frank, oh, that's right. Frank's not going to be on the show today. Huh. Okay. How cool that is.
Yeah,
Yes. So, And Frank didn't really clue me in who the producer was. I was hoping that, it might be like I might get Peterson to come up here and like actually do it because he says he can do it. Mark can do it, he says.
Right.
We don't want to disagree with Mark.
No, of course not.
The grand poobah. But a pleasure to have you, my friend. Thank you so much for filling in today. I can't do it because I don't know what I'm doing over there, and I probably would disconnect everybody, and it probably wouldn't be a good show.
No,
so
it's fine. I'm happy to be here.
Well, glad to have you too. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit today about a couple of different random subjects. There's no agenda today like there have been the past 4 weeks. This is more of like an issue if you want to ask questions or you have anything in particular in regards to real estate that you want to ask. You can email me at sold@calleric.com. You can also check in on Facebook Live if you want with your questions, or you can call the two most famous numbers in Beaver County, 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. I would think that most people have these numbers like written on the refrigerator by now or something like that. Here's another number you need to add. This is my personal number, friends. That's right, your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, 412-613-4466. 412-613-4466. Proud that this show's title is called Your Personal Realtor, but I can be your personal realtor as well. Love to talk to you about buying or selling real estate in any capacity that you have here in Western Pennsylvania. Feel free to call or text me 412-613-4466 or shoot me an email at sold@calleric.com. And I want to mention this show is sponsored by my website, which you guessed it, calleric.com. Feel free to visit. I'll start over. Feel free to visit me there. Whew, tongue-tied. To visit me there. Find out about my realtor practice, some of my philosophies. I have a lot of video content on that site. Hey, Jim Strack on Facebook. How are you, Jim? I have a lot of video content on calleric.com. I do tend to do like weekly videos called the McKenna Minute, just basic real estate tips and ideas and so forth. Love to share. We do record each of our shows. And what's kind of cool is we've got, I think, 43 out of 45 shows videoed in their entirety there at calleric.com. We're doing the video today. As a matter of fact, I'm looking around. This is crazy, Pat. There's 4 video cameras facing me. This is a little unsettling. But of course, we have the live stream going on, and one of my clients, Mallory, is checking in on Facebook Live. Mallory, how are you? I hope you're doing very, very well. Very well. The subject I want to touch on just before we go to the news here at the top of the hour, and I do have some time to do this. It's a question that I got from April, and April sent me an email this week, and she was inquiring about using me as her buyer's agent, which is very humbling. I appreciate it. She said to me, Eric, my husband and I want to start this process. We would like to sit down and talk with you, like you said, put a plan together. And do we have to get a pre-approval before we can start seeing homes? And I get this question asked quite a bit. And the answer is a little different with each realtor. There's no law in place that you can't go see a home without a pre-approval. Now, I will tell you that I run my practice in a way that I don't take buyers to properties if they're not already pre-approved. And it isn't to be mean, and it isn't to be, snobby about my time, because snobby is the last thing way you could describe me. I don't think I'm give up any kind of vibes that way. It isn't that at all. It's more about the utilization of your expectations and time as a buyer. Think about it. You want to go see a $340,000 home. You love it. Your wife loves it. Her parents love it. Looks great. The inside looks amazing. You both have 2 good jobs. We all have our lives. Things are going well. And you just want to go see this house. That's great. That's great. Number 1, can you afford it? Sound harsh? No, it's not harsh. Let's be realistic here. You might be able to afford a house 3 times that amount of money, but you don't know. You don't know. And knowledge is everything. Information is everything. Get pre-approved before you want to go see homes. I've done video series on these. We've talked about the type of mortgage agent, you should go see a local mortgage agent, and why you should use a local. We've talked all about that, the type of mortgage agent that I would recommend. But what I want to talk about here is why you need that pre-approval. Friends, you need to understand exactly what you're approved for. It doesn't mean you have to spend all that money, and that's a whole other subject. But you may be pre-approved for $800,000. It doesn't mean you have to buy an $800,000 home. But if you want to see a $350,000 home, you need to be sure that you can afford a $350,000 home. And I don't mean within your budget that you and your husband sat and talked about. I'm talking about, is a mortgage company, based upon your current circumstance, going to be willing to write a mortgage for you for that house? That's powerful information, and it's very vital information, not just for you, but also for your realtor. We don't want to waste your time. Our time's valuable, certainly, but we really kind of care more about our clients' time because we don't want you frustrated. Frustration is the worst thing for a realtor to have with their client, completely. So it just makes sense. You need to speak to a good, and I mean good, mortgage representative. I'm not saying it has to be local for it to be good. I would say give finding a local mortgage agent serious consideration, because someone local that you can go sit down, take the application. If you run into any issues along the way with underwriting or documents or anything, you can go to their office and hand them and put them right on their desk. You can sit and talk to them. They will interface directly with your realtor as well. You have a lot of synergy going on, synergy. And if you call an 800 number like Spaceship Mortgage here and XYZ Mortgage here, you're talking to potentially a mortgage underwriter in India that might have an underwriting officer in Dallas, that might have a final approval in Rhode Island. Okay, you don't want that. I'm sorry, you don't want that. If you're a new buyer and you're asking for advice, you're asking for ideas on and past practices in regards to getting a pre-approval, I'm going to strongly recommend to go with a local, qualified, and highly referred mortgage representative. I like to refer business to Miss Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage. She's a sponsor of this show, but she's a sponsor of this show because she has done just tremendous work for my clients. She's never failed my clients one time. I'm going to repeat that. Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage has never failed a client of mine one time, which ultimately means she's never failed me as a realtor one time. Wonderful. But there's a lot of wonderful local mortgage agents out there, okay? The idea is you want to engage with one and you want to get this pre-approval. Now, the other question is, Eric, what is the difference between, I got this letter that says I'm pre-qualified. What's a pre-qualification? I mean, that's maybe as good as a pre-approval, right? No, it is sadly not. It is sadly not. And there's a really interesting gray area when it comes to mortgage pre-approvals. You want a mortgage pre-approval. You do not want a document that says you have been pre-qualified for a mortgage. And the best way I can explain the difference between the two is I want to read this paragraph because it's verbatim exactly the most informative paragraph in regards to the subject. One thing to keep in mind is the differences between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. These two mortgage terms are night and day in their meaning. You want to be pre-approved, which means the lender has verified your income, your employment, and they've run your credit. A pre-qualification letter, for the most part, in most circumstances, does not do any of these things. And quite frankly, a pre-qualification letter isn't worth the paper it's written on. I think that's very, very astute and very true. And that's been played out in my realtor practice. You want a pre-approval. When you're asking, you contact Leslie, there's no problem. But if you choose not to use Leslie, or you're just reaching out, or you're going to call Spaceship Mortgage or whatever their name is they advertise, you need a pre-approval. Demand, harsh word, but use it. Demand a pre-approval letter from the mortgage company you seek out that you're going to hand to your realtor, which will then be your ticket to go see homes. I need that as your realtor. I need that. I require it. It isn't just for me. It's not a selfish thing. It is for the benefit of my buyer. You need to know what you are qualified for. And if your circumstances are such that you can only get a pre-approval for $270,000, and like most people, your cash position, how much cash you have available, isn't very much, that's okay. But you don't want to look at a $350,000 home for two reasons. Number one, obviously, you're wasting your time. Number two, more of a psychological reason. Okay? You do not want to put expectations higher in your mind when you start the process than are real. Let's deal in reality. Let's find you the right house at the right price, something you can afford, something you are pre-approved for, and let's make that happen for you. So the long answer is, by law, you might be able to go convince a realtor to show you a house without a pre-approval. It's possible. I will tell you, I'm running into this more often, and that is on certain higher end properties. I am noticing that the owner of the property, that's selling the property, is requiring that all potential buyers have a pre-approval, a bank pre-approval. They're requiring their listing agent to request from the buyer's agent a copy of the pre-approval before they show the house. And they just don't want the house viewed by people who are curious that have no intention on buying the home. And that's very smart. And that's another reason why, because this is becoming a more common practice, this is another reason why you need a mortgage pre-approval letter. Again, a mortgage pre-approval letter, not a mortgage pre-qualification letter. That might come in the mail in a blind envelope that just has your name on it, that just says you're pre-qualified for a $800,000 mortgage. I mean, it's junk mail. And I will add one last thing. If you're working with a quote-unquote mortgage broker or somebody that you've never heard of who is trying to write a mortgage for you for a company you've never heard of before, be careful. That's all I'm going to say. And if that particular person says you're pre-qualified, or if that particular person says you're pre-approved, and you go through the process with this person, demand a mortgage pre-approval. Demand a mortgage pre-approval letter, so you know that you are verified and qualified to get an actual mortgage once you find the home that you desire. Very, very important. The confusion between those two, pre-approval and pre-qualification, is wide. So bad that there are scams out there where you get blind junk mail that says, congratulations, you're pre-qualified for this loan amount. And I've had people bring these to me as a pre-approval for a mortgage. And I have to calmly and very carefully explain to them very clearly, it's not a pre-approval, it's junk mail. Pre-qualification, congratulations, you are pre-qualified. That's not worth the cost of the paper it's written on. You want to be pre-approved. Ooh, was that Frank Sparks who just walked in the studio?
I can't see. I don't know. Is that him?
Yeah, my producer at large, I think, was just he was meandering around out there. So.
By the way, I found out where he was all day.
Okay, let's hear it.
CCBC.
Oh, so the Senior Olympics was at the CCBC.
Yes. Yeah, I had to look it up on on our website. So.
All right, friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor. Before we go to the news, I want to send a huge shout out to my client, my good friend, Mr. Jonathan Fragapane, owner of Frags Tags, and he is here live on Facebook Live. Jonathan, good to see you. Thank you for sponsoring Your Personal Realtor, and thank you for being one of my clients and one of my friends. Thank you, sir. All right, friends, Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna on Beaver County Radio. We've completed our first hour of 2. This is your humble host, Eric McKenna. I'm joined by Mr. Pat Septak, and I assure you all, on the other side of this news break, we will be right back. A little early, just let it run till I thought I saw Frank. I'm not lying. I could have sworn to God I saw Frank.
Maybe he is. I thought he was supposed to be the
Beaver County's hometown radio stations, 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump is crowing about Wall Street's stellar performance since he won the election.
The stock market hit an all-time record high today, over 22,000. We've picked up substantially now more than $4 trillion in net worth in terms of our country, our stocks, our companies.
The president, turning his attention to immigration reform, has unveiled a bill. It's called the RAISE Act.
The RAISE Act prevents new migrants and new immigrants from collecting welfare and protects U.S. workers from being displaced.
Yeah, that's just the start. The plan would also end chain migration, setting up a rating system for getting a green card. It would favor English speakers as well as those who have skills that can help the U.S. economy. The RAISE Act, co-authored by Republican Senators David Perdue and Tom Cotton. Attorney General Sessions says it will help to protect the country by establishing higher standards for entry and allowing authorities to do more thorough reviews of each applicant. A powerful explosion has leveled part of a college prep school in Minneapolis. Assistant Fire Chief Brian Tyner says it happened at the Minnehaha Academy, private Christian school for youngsters pre-K through grade 12.
Early indications are that it may have been caused by a ruptured gas line. Crews are working on extinguishing the fire at this time and also searching for unaccounted people who may be trapped under the collapse.
2 people unaccounted for, 1 person suffering critical injuries. The school does say that all students and staffers are safe and accounted for. 2 American service members are dead. Follows a suicide bomb attack in southern Afghanistan. Checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is up about 47 points, trading at 22,010. The NASDAQ is up 2 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Futures and options trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire the stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Larry Levin, and I've been on the trading floor for 23 years. I was one of the biggest traders in the S&P pit. I'm also the president of Trading Advantage, the leading educational firm teaching people how to become professional day traders. Now, for a limited time, I'm offering one of the trading techniques I use to make $1.9 million for free. Get started right now by calling 800-489-8876. Leave your email address on my voicemail, and I'll email you my free trading technique and daily insider's market report at no cost to you. This is the very information I use to build my fortune.
I was getting ready to retire. I still needed to make extra income, but I didn't want to work for anyone else. Because of Larry and his excellent instructors, I can trade successfully for myself, and I'll never have to work for someone else again.
Fire the stockbroker and hire the most dependable person you know. You. Again, call in the next 90 minutes. Leave your email address on my voicemail. 800-489-8876. 800-489-8876. 800-489-8876.
Prince Philip ending a lifetime of service with a solo public engagement today.
For over 65 years, he has been the unwavering presence alongside Britain's longest-serving monarch. As the 91-year-old monarch soldiers on, one of his friends, Martin Palmer, explains what he thinks is Prince Philip's greatest achievement.
I think his greatest achievement has been to support the Queen through probably one of the most tempestuous periods that the monarchy has ever been through.
Sarah Shackley, London.
Qatar has signed a $5.9 billion deal to buy 7 naval vessels from Italy. Stark reminder of the small Gulf states' buying power despite a blockade from neighboring countries. Qatar's foreign minister announcing the deal today at a joint news conference in Doha with the Italian foreign minister. No details of that deal have been provided. News and analysis at townhall.com.
All right.
Congresswoman Diane Black tossing her hat into the governor's race in Tennessee.
Black making the announcement official in a video on her website where she touted her conservative credentials.
We believe in absolute truth.
Oh, okay.
Right is right, wrong is wrong, truth is truth, God is God, and a life is a life. And we don't back down.
Black heads one of the most powerful committees in Congress, the House Budget Committee. She enters a crowded field of Republicans and one announced Democrat, Carl Dean, the former mayor of Nashville.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. German automakers have committed to retrofitting more than 5 million diesel cars in the country with updated software to reduce harmful emissions and to finance incentives for drivers to trade in older vehicles. That word today from the German transport minister. Volkswagen's been under intense pressure recently since the emissions cheating scandal. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What's up, Tony? Ed? Thanks, partners. Appreciate it. Woo, Facebook Live. Ready? This is actually working pretty good.
Just let me know when you're ready.
No, give me 1 second. Okay, friends, welcome back to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, Realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors out of Swickley in Robinson Township, and we are here with you every Wednesday. That's right, every Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. This little science experiment has started last fall, 45 weeks ago. That's hard to believe. 45 weeks ago, we were on Saturdays for 60 minutes. That was expanded to 90 minutes in November. January, we were renewed. Whew, that was a breeze there. We were renewed by this station, which was wonderful. And a couple of weeks ago, actually a month and a half, 2 months ago, we were upgraded. How about that? Use that word. Upgraded to a full 2 hours and moved to Wednesdays at 2 to 4 p.m. here in Beaver County radio terms as prime time. So I'm joined every week with my producer, Sir Frank Sparks, who is being filled in today, very capably, I might add, by my good friend, Mr. Pat Septak. Glad to have you, Pat. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And moving along rather calmly and prudently and pragmatically today. Frank did pop in back into the station after he was at the event for the Senior Olympics, and we are going to ask Frank to pop in here in a little while and talk a little bit about his event today. I'm curious because I have my AARP card now. My daughter was very, insured to bring that to me when it came in the mail. So, yeah, hey, Dad, you got an AARP card. I said, kid, I didn't even know you even knew what that meant. But, I mean, really? An AARP,
You don't look old enough to have one of those.
Man, I'll tell you. It's like, I got one child that tells me, it reminds me that I don't have any hair and I have an AARP card. The other child says, Dad, I know you're older than all my friends as dads, but you're the coolest dad. So I got one kid telling me I'm the coolest dad. The other one reminding me that I'm getting older. So I can't win for losing, I'll tell you. I can't win. But friends, thank you for, hopefully you're enjoying the show. Thank you for making us a part of your weekday here from 2 to 4 on Wednesdays. The purpose of this show obviously is to talk real estate, but we don't want to bore you completely. So we also bring in some humor. A lot of humor. Now, you may not find it funny, but we do. A lot of humor, and we always talk some sports toward the end of the show as well. You can participate in this show many ways. The obvious ways, the two most famous numbers in Beaver County, which are 724-774-1888 and 724-843-1888. See, I changed that up a little bit, in the order.
You did?
Yeah, I saw you had a little bit of a funny look there for a second. Everybody's used to hearing it one way.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also email me here, and I do have access to it. It's sold at calleric.com. And I won't give into the AA part of me. Someone just wrote on Facebook Live, I won't give in to the AARP monster. Someone from the station actually wrote in on that.
Is that right?
Yeah. You have to do it. You can, again, email me at sold@calleric.com. You can also log into Facebook. If you're listening and you're not watching us, you can. If you're, sitting there bored out of your brains and you want to watch this show, we welcome you to, of course. Log into Facebook and just in the search bar, type in Eric McKenna. You'll see me come up twice, and either one of those Facebook pages will have a live stream of our show. Facebook Live has been a wonderful addition to this show. We did it about the third weekend, so I guess maybe on show number 3 we started to do it. We noticed that the participation was even beyond, obviously, the already wide area coverage of Beaver County Radio. Wonderful. And we thank you for making us a part of your Wednesday. It's very humbling. And now it looks like we have some intrigue, Pat, because on this Facebook Live feed, it says Pat Septak wrote that. So It's either Diane. They're laughing, or is that us laughing?
That's us laughing.
That's either Diane or the Grand Poobah. If you're a betting man,
I think I know who it is. I know him
friends.
pretty well.
All right, fair enough. But again, thank you for including us in your Wednesday. It's wonderful. A couple things here. We're going to talk about our sponsors in a second. I am going to be holding an open house this week. That's right. We're going to hold an open house on Sunday. That's right, on Sunday in Moon Township at 202 Pine Drive in the heart of Moon Township. It's a wonderful 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, colonial. Fantastic home. The grounds are wonderful. And for this kind of really great neighborhood in Moon, it's a pretty big lot as well. Kind of a nice, prestigious driveway. Just everything about the house is great. It was just recently reduced down to, I can't believe it, $279,900. $279,900 for this quality of home in the heart of Moon Township, the Moon Township School District. There's just so much about the house. We're going to be there from 11 to 4. And of course, we're going to have the goodies. That's the first thing Mr. Sparks over there always asks me, open house. So, what is the quality of your open house food, Eric? I said, my friend, we put on a show, let me tell you. You may not feed me here, but I get my sweets there. Trust me, no worries there, pal. But we'll be there from 11 to 4. Come see us. We'll be talking baseball as we always do, but the most important thing is we want you to see this wonderful house, Moon Township School District, heart of Moon Township, 202 Pine Drive. You can check out my Facebook page at Eric McKenna or Eric McKenna at calleric.com, either one on Facebook, and check out the open house details. And we will see you there Sunday from 11 to 4. It's 5 hours. We're giving you wonderful people 5 hours and come see this house. This isn't like a typical open house of 2 hours, 11 to 1, 12 to 2, 1 to 3. I don't do that nonsense. I do 5 hours. We want to give you every opportunity to get in there. Oh, no, we're wrong on both. So, Pat, it wasn't you who wrote on Facebook. It wasn't the Grand Poobah.
No?
It wasn't Diane.
Who was it?
Big boy in there. I just figured it out.
Did you go up to it, huh?
Yes, I did. Okay, in the second hour here, we're going to talk a little bit about the buying process, and based on some of the questions that I've gotten this past week. And we're going to have Sir Frank Sparks come in and just talk briefly. We're going to have Sir Frank Sparks talk briefly about his morning at the Senior Olympics. That's something I definitely want to hear about, and I hope you do too. And I want to start off this hour by talking about a question that I received that I did a little 2-minute video series called the McKenna Minute. And my latest episode deals in this particular subject. And it basically is this. I had someone talk to me recently about listing their house. And we got to ask all the normal questions, but the question that came up that was a little peculiar was, Eric, do I have to leave my house when there's a showing? I really don't want to leave my house. And I kind of wanted to flesh that out and ask some questions, which I did. And I said, well, is it, what are your concerns? I mean, is it a logistics thing? Is it you don't have anywhere to go? You don't have a car? Is it a timing thing? I'm your realtor. I'll work with you. We'll get this right. We'll figure it out. And the surprising answer wasn't any of those things. They were having, which is understandable, they were having some trust issues. And, their house is their house. It's their home. This is how we feel about our home. And maybe the concept of this lovely lady, in her mind, the concept of someone walking through her home and looking at her things, it was unsettling. And I totally understand that. I absolutely understand that. I mean, I think about this, if I went home this evening and I said to Natalie, we're going to list our house tomorrow. We're going to put our house on the market tomorrow. Which means tomorrow, there's a lockbox, which means tomorrow afternoon, agents could be bringing strangers, buyers, to look in our house. And I'll tell you, even I'm a realtor, even me, that's a little unsettling. You need to prepare for that. Not only do you need to prepare for that, showing wise, getting things ready, cleanliness, orderliness. Maybe you want to rearrange the furniture, you want to clean the drapes, you want to paint some rooms, whatever you want to do. That's one thing. But there's also a mental component to selling your property. As a realtor, I recognize that. I'm very, very in tune with the psychological aspects of real estate. What I mean by that is I read a lot, and I read a lot about the emotional component that comes with making decisions, and the emotional component that comes with moving and selling and parting with the comfort of your home. I get it. I totally get it. Now, just because I get it doesn't mean I agree. So hear me out. The question was, do I need to leave my home when there's showings? Can I just walk in the backyard? Can I kind of just stay in the kitchen? Do I have to actually leave? And my answer is no, you don't have to. You don't have to. I work for you. I am your realtor. I am your listing agent. You are, I don't like this word, but you are the boss. You are my client. If you want to stay, you can stay. You absolutely can stay. Do I think you should stay? No. 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 Why I say that, it's pretty simple. We want to sell your house. That is the goal. That's why you hired me. That's why I'm working as hard as I can for you. Okay? That's why we have mutual trust. And this is why we're going at this together. You're my client. We're on a journey to your goal to sell your house. Forget all the other things that are coming afterwards, where you're going and all that, for another discussion. We're trying to sell your house. That's the goal. The idea is we want to get buyers in there. For a buyer to want to see your home and see all the attributes. You want to show off the home. You want to have an amazing showing. You want it to show well. You want everything to be great. You want the buyer to feel at ease. You want the buyer to take action. You're looking for that particular buyer who's going to take action and buy your home. That's the goal, right? In order for a buyer to make a decision, the psychology of it all, you have a better chance if the buyer is comfortable. In order for that buyer to be comfortable, as a home seller, you want to give that buyer the peace and the calm environment and the ability to talk amongst themselves. You want to give that buyer the ability to talk to their realtor, have frank conversations, not worried that somebody that owns the property could be in earshot or eye view away. You want to leave the property. You're not only doing it for the buyer. That's number one. You are doing it for them, but not only. You're also doing it for yourself, because it's going to increase the likelihood that you're going to find somebody that's comfortable enough and likes your home enough to make a decision. You need to leave the house. And I say that because if the shoe was on the other foot, you as a home buyer would want the same courtesy. You'd want to be able to go in there with your family or whoever you're seeing the house with. Maybe it's just you and your realtor, but you want that ability to speak frankly. You want to say to that realtor, wow, I love the layout of this living room. It's awesome, but you know what? Why in the heck did they paint that wall purple? I don't like that. Or you might say, hey, I like the fact that this is a wide hallway, but that rug is just deplorable. You want the ability to say what's on your mind to those you are with, those who you're showing with, those who you're talking with the realtor. A good realtor is going to ask you during the showing, what do you like about the property? What do you like? What are some of the challenges? We want you to talk to us, and we want, more importantly, we want you to talk to whoever you came with. If it's a husband and wife, is it a wife and children? Is it a husband, wife, and parents? Whoever's viewing the house, you want to be able to have that communication. You want to be able to talk freely. You want to be able to feel relaxed. You don't want the home seller walking around behind you, number one. You don't want the home seller sitting in the kitchen. You're not going to be relaxed as a buyer. So as a realtor, as a listing realtor, I would advise my seller to figure it out. If at all possible, leave the property. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes it's simply not possible. There's logistical issues, there's transportation issues, there could be child care issues, there could be animals that we just can't get arrangements for. We understand all that. But you are basically entrusting us to list your home to sell it. That is the goal. That's what we're doing. Give us the best opportunity to do that and really take under advisement that you should give the buyer the ability to look at your property and examine your property on a showing unencumbered. The feeling of a relaxed environment, peaceful, and the ability for that buyer to speak even critically about your house, in your house, to whoever they came with. Give them that courtesy. I don't think it's odd to ask. So again, those are the reasons why I feel as a home seller, when it's time for a showing, go have a cup of coffee. Go to your Starbucks. Indeed do that. Are we have a call? Mm-hmm. All right. Hi, you're on with Eric McKenna.
Hello, Eric.
Hello, how are you?
I'm glad you're doing fantastic, man. I'm glad you got this show because you gave us a lot of insight as to a lot of things we don't know, and you can just you're firsthand, so you know what's going on. So thanks for having the show.
Well, thanks for listening.
My question for you, sir, is this. I'm sure you've heard all these radio and TV commercials. Come on down to the Holiday Inn or wherever. I can teach you how to invest and sell and flip homes tomorrow.
Mm-hmm, I sure have.
I'm just curious, what's the reality about all that? I mean, what happens at these things, and does it work?
It's a good question. That's a good question. It's a very good question. I generally go by the rule I was taught as a little child because it served me well as a businessman, and that is if it seems too good to be true, it generally is.
Right.
I think education's a wonderful thing, and I'm not discounting the ability for people to put programs together to teach citizens, to teach consumers how to purchase distressed properties or how to do these things. I'm not saying that it's impossible. What I am saying is, I don't have these numbers, but I would guess the vast amount of people that attend the seminar or buy the programs, I would say the success rate is probably 1/100th of 1%. I'm just guessing. It's not a high percentage. And I have to tell you, I know you're going to laugh at this, but just hear me out for a second. I guess the best way I could respond back to you is simply this, and really take this to heart and tell me if you think I'm wrong. Please tell me, because I want to have a productive discussion. I look at it like this. Let's say Bill Johnson is running these commercials all over the internet. He's going to teach you the secrets of buying property. Come to Bill's seminars. It's only $4.95 with all of his materials. It's 3 days and yada 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 over and over again. Here is the only discrepancy this is why I think it's not valid. If Bill Johnson has the secrets and it's so easy, why is Bill Johnson wasting his time teaching a bunch of people for a couple $100 this system? Wouldn't Bill Johnson be out there doing it time after time after time after? Because there's got to be a heck of a lot more profitable if it's that easy and it's that so amazing. His time would be better spent doing the actual thing he's trying to teach you to do. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've always looked at it that way. And I'm not saying that personal development people aren't valid. They are. Some of them are. And probably some of these people are as well. But in the early 90s, I did this. I actually took a course and I actually bought the program. I can't remember the gentleman's name. I want to say the last name was Anderson. But I was really intrigued. And I had a very good friend of mine. I'll tell. His name is Jim Stewart. We grew up together. Very, very smart guy. We dissected the whole thing. And there was no question that if we followed this, it would be a good path to probably buy some rentals and to flip some houses. At that time, they were kind of emphasizing the rental thing back in the early 90s. Rental buildings, distressed buildings, fix them up and rent them out. That was the thing. But what they failed to neglect to tell you is, and this is the last thing I will leave you on the subject, is you're going to be competing with a lot of people that do this all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
When I get clients that want to get in the foreclosure game, my first question to them is, okay, what's your cash position? And they say, well, can't we get a mortgage? I said, well, yes, you can get a mortgage in certain circumstances on certain types of distressed properties. Understand the market right now. And I'm telling you, Mr. Consumer, we are in a seller's market. We do not have enough properties. Every time a good and potentially profitable foreclosure comes up in this market, it's those with the heavy hands of cash that get it on it.
Okay.
You have to be in this cash position to really act. And that goes, in all honesty, that goes for a lot of these programs that suck the consumer in and a couple $100 and you sit listen to it. That's great. In theory, yes. If you can get all the moving parts to work for you and you can get a mortgage on distressed property, God love you. But in this market, there's no way a bank's going to take a mortgage over cash. And any good potential property that is distressed, that is a good money maker, is bought up by the investors because there's just not that many of them. And that's my thought. That's just my thought on it.
It's a glorified scam, then, right? I mean, if you look at it now, because the market's not that big for that, then, right?
We are not, and we have not been in what I consider to be a good, how do I say this? Not a good market for novice home flippers. Does that make any sense? There's not enough properties. Now, when the market crashed, 2007, 8, 9, and then moving into 10, where you had you had a lot of issues in the economy in general then, but the housing market took a big tumble, and there's multitudes of reasons for that, but you did have a lot of foreclosures then. And that was maybe a little easier for a novice who had cash to go in there and start the process. But if you're not in a strong cash position, I really don't believe the flipping game is for you. As a matter of fact, I've seen people lose their life savings thinking that it's because I watched it on television and these TV shows, it could be this easy. Well, they get into their first flip and they make a bad decision, and now all of a sudden they're upside down, and the amount of money they were willing to risk just didn't work out. So, is it impossible? Yeah. Absolutely not. People do it every day. But in this market, unless you're cash position and you're willing to, let's face it, what are you willing to risk as well? It's one thing to have $50,000 in cash, but can you look to your significant other across the table and say, honey, let's do this. Let's risk this $50,000, and there's no real guarantee that Bob Johnson over here is going to give us the keys to the kingdom. Because my argument is, if Bob Johnson had the keys to the kingdom, he wouldn't be teaching you. He'd be out there doing it repetitively until he was the richest man in America. So, again, I hate to be, it's a great question, and I welcome it. And it's, it's the first time it's ever been asked on this show, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. But and I apologize for being so jaded. I'm a very positive person. But I find a lot of the TV shows amusing, some of the reality shows regarding real estate amusing, I don't think it's helping the consumer very much because it's creating a lot of illusions out there about real estate, and some positive, but a lot of them kind of negative. Reality television shows, I'll leave you with this. Things you see on TV that are supposed to be real, I'm very against believing into that. I'm kind of very skeptical. I was in the guitar business for a long time. I worked with a very famous guitarist from a rock band called Kiss, and he gave me the greatest advice once. He said, Eric, there's no such thing as reality television. There's reality and there's television. That's true. You can't mix the two. There's reality and there's television. My point is, something's askew when you watch a reality HGTV show and it's about house hunters and they interview the couple. And he's like a computer programmer from San Bernardino, California, and she makes wicker baskets down at the local co-op. But they're qualified for an $850,000 house. I mean, something, if it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that is staged. So, yeah. I mean, I don't mean to be jaded, but I'm giving you my honest answer. I'm very skeptical of any get-rich-quick schemes. And unfortunately, that's kind of how they deliver it to you.
Well, now, don't a lot of these houses need roofs put on them, or AC and heating and furnaces and all that? Don't these need a lot of work usually too?
Oh, most definitely. And if you case in point, let's say there was a house at the end of your block that you noticed, and while you probably weren't friends with the people living there, you noticed there was some distress, and maybe distress in their own life. There was a divorce, and the house looked dilapidated. And let's just say you heard through the grapevine it was going in foreclosure. So let's say you had the insight, and let's say you had a little cash, and you said, okay, well, you walk down to introduce yourself because you really didn't get to know these people. And you say, hey, can I talk to your mortgage company? Can we work something out? I have the cash position to get you out of this mess potentially, and I'm looking for a house that may be undervalued that I can put money into. So it's kind of like the perfect circumstance for you, because you know the owner. Yeah. Let's say all that works out. Let's say you get the house that may be worth $100,000 on the books, but this couple let it deteriorate and it needs a lot, and let's say you get it for like $60,000. Let's just say that there's a short sale and the bank says, okay, we'll accept $60,000. Okay, you're probably jumping for joy. But if you didn't plan, if you didn't research what you were getting into, you just like you just told me, you need to get a certified home inspector in there, number one. Then from there, you need to get quotes for all the things needed on the property. It's pretty easy to spend $30,000 to $40,000 on home repairs, especially if you're looking at the big things, roofing, mechanicals, if there's any structural related issues there. And hey, if you're a contractor and you can do it yourself, that's an in. If you have an Uncle Freddie that can do half this stuff for no labor, a couple cases of beer, that's an in. But again, I have to tell you, if it looks too good to be true in real estate, it generally is. No one makes their money overnight. No one becomes a multi-unit owner of a multi-unit building and multitudes of those overnight. It takes a while, and you got to take your hits and your lumps and all that stuff too. It can be done, but I tell people, what is your cash position, and how much of that cash are you willing to put at risk? Just like if you're going to Vegas. It's the same thing, my friend. It's the same thing. So, and I'm sure that, there's probably a small 1% of their audience might do well. Could be. I just think if it was that easy and I had the secret, I sure wouldn't share it with anybody.
Absolutely.
I just go do it
Thanks
myself.
for your input. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling, sir, and thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
You bet. Go ahead. Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you. Go ahead, Pat. I know you want to say something.
Yeah, we need to take a break.
All right, fair enough. Friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor on Beaver County Radio, and we'll be right back. I went a little long on that, but I mean, it's the truth. What's your cash position? You want to go to Vegas? I mean, if you're willing to lose 40 out of 60,000 bucks. Probably more fun to do it in Vegas. Because you might win. You might have to go out there and dig a new sewer line, put a roof on. In the end, you don't win.
Money they didn't know they had. Hello, friends. This is Remaxed Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with Remaxed Advanced Realtors and CallEric.com.
I'm trying to think of the name of that guy.
Saturday mornings have gotten even bigger and better on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. Start out your morning with Secure Money Advisors at 7, followed by the Saturday Sports Slam with Greg Benedetti and Matt Durzik at 8. Then it's the Lead Lap with Frank Sparks at 9:45 and the Watchdog on Wall Street at 10 and Forever Young at 11. Finish it up with Frontiers and Learning presented by Lincoln Park Learning Solutions at 12 noon. It's a lineup you won't want to miss right here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
And we are back. Friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. This has been a great show, great last call. I've been wanting to talk about that subject for a long time, very long time. We never got to it, and I'm glad that this particular caller brought it to my attention. And we just simply talked about the advertisements to learning how to flip houses, because you see them, infomercials, I should say. Is that right, Pat? Infomercials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And, hey, obviously they're making money. They're selling their little plan there. But I go back to the same principle. Number one, if it looks too good to be true, it's generally not. And number two, if somebody really had the secret to making unlimited amounts of money, why would they be selling it to you for $200 when they'd be out there doing it repeatedly until they were the richest man in America? So that's just my thoughts, but we'll leave it at that. Friends, thank you again. This has been we're ending. Oh my goodness, we're in the last segment of the show. How'd this happen already? Have too much fun here. The Grand Poobah Mark Peterson thinks I have too much fun. My producer Frank Sparks thinks I have too much fun. They just don't understand. You have to enjoy what you do. To the up team. Quickly, friends, Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna is sponsored by our good friends at Frags Tags in downtown Coraopolis for all your title and notary needs. Contact Frags Tags at 412-264-3018. Great notary. Use them. Also sponsored by Lifestyle Family and Portrait Photographer Dawn Morris. From infants to toddlers, preteens to graduation and beyond, let Dawn capture your family's greatest moments. You can view Dawn's creative work at Gypsy Souls Photography. Love that name. GypsySoulsPhotography.com or call Dawn for a session. 412-337-8348. 412-337-8348. Dawn is a wonderful portrait and family photographer, as well as fashion and a bunch of other segments of the market as well. The show is also sponsored by my good friend, Miss Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage. Contact Leslie for your mortgage needs at 412-719-5673. 412-719-5673. Leslie Raymond with Union Home Mortgage. NMLS number 138287. PA license number 29666. Our good friend Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspections, one of the finest, well, one of the absolute finest home inspectors in the Valley. Contact Matt with questions about his home inspection services, whether you're getting ready to list your house or you just came under agreement and you don't have an inspector. Shame on your realtor. But if you don't have one, Matt's a great choice. Matt Pia with Division 9 Home Inspections. Division, number 9, inspection.com. Or call Matt at 412-715-8123, 412-715-8123. This show is also sponsored by Big Bang Comics and Collectibles. That's right, Big Bang Comics and Collectibles in Swickley. Get your inner nerd on. And the owner, great guy, Dave Bishop. Go in there and talk to Dave, and you really can engage all things comics and collectibles, because not only is he a store owner, he lives it just like you do. 412-259-8742. 412-259-8742. Dave Bishop at Big Bang Comics and Collectibles in Swickley. And finally, this show is sponsored by our good friend Chris Moser from Chris Moser Electric. That's right, Chris Moser Electric. 412-292-7455. Again, that is 412-292-7455. Chris is an electrician, commercial, and he is also used for all your residential needs. You have a question in regards to electrical work done for your home. It could be a small repair. It could be a whole new service. Whatever your questions are, electric related in regards to your house, contact Chris for answers, and there's never any obligation. 412-292-7455. 412-292-7455. Chris Moser from Chris Moser Electric. He's done work for me. He's been phenomenal, and he's done much work for my buyers. Plenty of work, and everyone has been immensely satisfied. I give him my highest recommendation. And this show, of course, is sponsored by my website, calleric.com. Again, it's calleric.com. Visit me there. Learn about my realtor practice, my ideas on real estate. I got a couple of video series there. I have the McKenna Minute, which just really quick and brief real estate tips, things that I've learned through the years of being a realtor. I'm sharing my experience and things to look for when you're buying or selling a house. I will also tell you there, we have a podcast that I do with a great realtor out of Minneapolis named Tommy Summers. It's called the First Time Home Buyers Podcast. And it was a little experiment that Tommy and I started about 5 months ago. The response has been absolutely phenomenal. So we just recorded episode number, I want to say it's 14. But we talk about we basically took the first time home buying process from its inception all the way to closing. And that encompassed about 12 episodes. And now we're going back and getting a little more detailed in all the steps along the way. It's great to share ideas with such a great realtor. Tommy's got 20-some years in the business, although he doesn't look it. He's, Mr. Suave there. Mr. Tom Summers, great guy. But I love working with Tommy as well on information and being of service. That's what it's all about. It's at calleric.com. 43 out of 45 of our shows, our radio shows, are recorded on video and are broadcast available on demand at calleric.com, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page. If you can't find us on the internet, you're not looking too far. You're not looking too far, and you're not looking too hard, friends. Just type in Eric McKenna, your personal realtor, and all this will be available to you. But the starting point for you can be calleric.com, or if you just want to give me a call, it's 412-613-4466. Call or text me again, 412-613-4466. I can be your personal realtor. Very special thanks to my good friend, Mr. Pat Septek, who is filling in for my regular producer, Sir Frank Sparks, who attended today the Senior Olympics. Now, do I qualify for the Senior Olympics with my age now? I'm 51 years young.
I don't know. Supposedly you got your AARP card, right? So.
I do have my everybody said, hey, you're going to get your AARP card, and you're going to get all these discounts, and you're going to get all this mail and all these emails and all these great discounts. I haven't gotten anything. It's just a reminder that I hit 50. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. But no, thanks to everybody here. We talk real estate on this show as much as we can. We blend in some humor. We take your phone calls. The two most famous numbers in Beaver County. That's Beaver County Radio's hotline, which is 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Or you can just send me an email at sold@calleric.com. Many thanks today for our Facebook Live audience. It's been tremendous. And, wow, man, I cannot believe the show goes this fast. It's insane. Very much insane. The last subject we're going to talk about today, which is just something very minor, but I want to bring it up because it was asked of me this past week. And we've talked about it many times on this show. But again, we don't mind being repetitive if this is what we need to do to answer questions that are presented to us. And I was simply asked point blank by a potential home buyer that was with another agent, and they fired this agent, which, I don't know how that went, none of my business. But they were searching for another realtor, and they were interviewing me, and they basically told me point blank, they said, Eric, what's your thoughts on if we bypass on the home inspection? My dad's a contractor. He's been a contractor for 35 years, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and I looked him in the eye, and I said, it is your right, Bill, as a home buyer, that's to get an inspection or not get an inspection. No one is requiring you to do that. Your mortgage company will, depending on the type of mortgage that you have, your mortgage company will send an appraiser out to the home during the mortgage underwriting process. That appraiser may have an opinion or two about any potential defects in the house related to your particular mortgage type. But in terms of a home inspection, that is a private transaction between you, the home buyer, and the home inspector that you choose to use. Now, would I still work with this buyer if they didn't want to get a home inspector? Absolutely. You're within your right not to get an inspection. However, as you could probably imagine, my response is I strongly, strongly, strongly advise that you get a home inspection. We've talked about Matt Pia from Division 9 Home Inspectors. He's phenomenal. There are also a multitude of phenomenal home inspectors in southwestern Pennsylvania. We can refer you to multitudes of people that will treat you right, not just financially, but more importantly, they'll do good inspections, solid inspections, and their inspection will be almost like an owner's manual for you for your new home. That's right. The inspection, you want to keep it because it's like an owner's manual for you for your new home. Multitudes of reasons why you want a home inspection. Listen, I implore you, if you're thinking about, wherever you are, whoever you're working with, wherever you're doing, if you're in the process of buying a home, whether you're at the pre-planning stages, whether you've already come under contract, okay, and you're debating whether to get a home inspector, get a home inspector. Get a home inspection. So many reasons why. Structural, roofing, mechanicals. Yes, your father may be a contractor. God love him. And if you're comfortable with that, he may be able to do that job perfectly. I'm definitely not going to, discourage you from using your father, the contractor. I didn't do that. What I'm saying to you is if you don't have a high level of comfort with anyone in your circle, family members, friends, that is a contractor, or that you are comfortable with their knowledge, their complete knowledge of the entire house, or you're not sure someone is going to give you, on a friendship basis, a good, thorough inspection so you are properly informed in every aspect of this house you're getting ready to buy. This house, which is going to be probably one of the biggest purchases you make in your life. If you're not comfortable that a friend or an associate is going to give you a thorough inspection, you need to hire a professional. Again, hire a professional home inspection. It's the best $400, $500, $600, depending on how much of an inspection you get, the best money you can possibly spend. Is it worth it? Think about it, friends. Is it worth it to spend $600 to ensure that your $300,000 purchase is a wise one? Again, pragmatic behavior. $600 to ensure that your $300,000 purchase is a wise one. I think that's some of the best money you could possibly spend. Again, talk to your realtor, whoever you're working with. If you don't have a good referral, if you're not working with a realtor, call me, 412-613-4466. Okay? If you already have a realtor, that's wonderful. Not a problem. Get a good referral from that realtor and get a good home inspector in there to protect your investment. Get a home inspection. I can't be any more clear about it. Are you required to? No, you're not. Should you? Absolutely. Just like we said earlier. Eric, do I have to leave the house when people come to view my home? Do I have to leave? No, you do not. Should you? Absolutely. Same exact answer this time. Okay, and that's going to do it today for the real estate talk. Yes, indeed. As we do every week, we're going to wrap this up with just a little tiny bit of baseball talk. And, Frank and I bounce ideas back, but I have the pleasure today of talking to Mr. Pat Septek about his views on the current state. Don't grin. The current state of the Buccos.
Uh-oh.
Yes. We're not gonna talk any A's baseball because I know you kind of just really pay attention to the local team. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Frank, I can talk more expanded, with like the league in general.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but we'll talk some Buccos here. So, are you happy that they didn't do much of anything at the trade deadline?
Well, do you want to take our final break first?
We have to take a break? Yeah. Oh my goodness. We'll take our final break and we will be back with this question. And the question will be for Pat, is he happy at the trade deadline? Right back with you.